Welcome to the Frenzied Book Lovers podcast. Now, why is this frenzied? Because when I decided to review books for a podcast, my millennial friend said that, hey, listen, you should keep it under 5 to 8 minutes. And my Gen Z friend said, you should keep it under 60 seconds, a target I'm not going to achieve because I've eaten 18 of those 60 seconds already. But let's get started. I'm reviewing Mother Mary Comes to Me by Arundhati Roy. Now, this book was released earlier this year. It's a cracker of a book, not just because Arundhati writes beautifully, but I think she's honest enough to leave little gaps where you can actually be critical of her. For the sake of this podcast, I am going to divide this book into three portions. The first will deal with her childhood, the second with her adult life here in Delhi, where she becomes an author and an activist. And the third part deals with her relationship with her mother. Now, her relationship, her very, very complex relationship with her mother, runs through the course of the book and provides the spine to the book, to be honest. To start with Arundhati's childhood. Now, Arundhati's mother, Mary Roy, decided to leave their father in Assam due to reasons such as alcoholism, and they moved to Ooty. Now, they're squatting at this point at Arundhati's grandfather's house. Nobody lives there. It's an abandoned house. It's got some of his medals. He was an imperial entomologist, so it's got some of his stuff that Arundhati's mother sort of gives away to sort of get some money. But their life there is very hard. Arundhati's mother has debilitating asthma. The children develop tuberculosis, but they meet very, very nice people along the way who help the kids out. Now, one of the episodes that really sort of stuck with me when I was reading about this bit was one where Arundhati's mum, is suffering from asthma. She's really, really unwell. And each time that she was unwell, I think one always thinks of the inevitable. So she asks her daughter, little girl, what will you do without me? Or little girl, what will you do if I pass on? Now, Arundhati is genuinely, she's scared, right? She's a young kid. She's 5, 6 years old. And so she says, Mama, I'll breathe for you. And she sort of envisions herself as an external organ that she could attach to her mom's body that would allow for her mom to breathe. And I think that incident is going to stay with me for a long while. Now, Arundhati and her mum are finally evicted by their own grandmother from this house and have no choice but to move to Kerala, which turns out to be a good move in retrospect because they meet some incredible people there. And here I'd like to give a big shout out to Arundhati's uncle, George Isaac, who was a Rhodes Scholar, a pickle baron who also eventually lost his, pickle factory, and makes these, carves these aeroplanes out of wood that are rarely ever airborne. And he's a fantastic, fantastic character. So absolutely one of my favorite characters in the book. So Arundhati moves to Kerala, and over there her mum gradually starts her school, which is now very famous. Arundhati, meanwhile, is packed off to a military school that she absolutely loathes. Moving on, as Arundhati grows up, at the age of 16 or 17, she comes to Delhi. Now, she's been living in a small town in Kerala, and now she's moved to Delhi. Delhi is big, huge, and the moment she lands in Nizamuddin, she tells the auto driver, can you take me to, my aunt's house? Because she was just used to auto drivers, bus drivers, people knowing each other in a smaller town. But Delhi isn't like that. Anyway, Arundhati learns, and she doesn't have it easy here at all. There's always a money crunch. She's trying to work, she's studying, she's doing a bunch of different things, and one sort of hopes during this time that, she finds the best of people to share these sort of terrible moments with, and she does. She makes very, very good friends, and her life eventually sort of improves drastically as she goes along. Moving on, Arundhati then obviously discovers that she acts in 2 films. She discovers that she has writing skills. She's encouraged by people around her to write, and she gets on with writing. She wins the Booker. Life is on track. It looks good. She's got a nice partner. Things are working out for her. And while she's doing all of this, and here is where the dip for me sort of arrives, Arundhati then gets involved with the Narmada Bachao Andolan. And as a result of, participating in this Andolan and being an activist in it, she's sent to jail for a day. She pays bail and she gets out, but while she's in jail for the night, she meets with Afsan, who is an accused in the Parliament attack case in 2001. Now, Afsan is there, she's pregnant, and she's sharing the space with Arundhati. And Arundhati is completely moved by her plight. So she asks Afsan, what can I do for you? And Afsan just says, can you get me a towel? And I don't think they had a towel handy at that time. So Arundhati, completely moved by Afsan's plight, when she gets out of jail, contacts Afsan's lawyer, Nandita Haksar, and decides to help all of the accused out in the case, including Afsan's husband, Shaukat, and S.A.R. Jilani. So she's helping out. She's trying to figure out who the mastermind could be. And here is the bit that really got tricky for me, because she writes that she collected all the legal papers, put it up in a suitcase, flew to Goa. It was off season, so she found an open air restaurant. She sat there, and she said that I sat there with a tower of papers instead of friends, and some fish and beer. And she went through those papers quite diligently. Couldn't find the mastermind, and I think that was a low point for me, because I was thinking that, come on, why did you have to go to Goa to do this? You could have done this here perfectly, happily, comfortably in your home in Malcha Marg. Why did you have to do this? So, but moving on, we come to the final part of the book. And even when I was reading through, I think this was such a low for me, that even when I was reading through her bits about activism, I couldn't wait for her to come back to write about her mother, because while that was a difficult relationship, while that was a relationship where the mother lashed out at the children, and Arundhati writes that, that perhaps she lashed out at us because she couldn't lash out at people who were unfair to her. I waited for her to get back to that bit, because it seemed just more honest and authentic. And the last bit about the book is a hard read, because that's where Arundhati's mum, Mrs. Roy, passes on. And that grief is truly hard to deal with, despite of the fact that they had a very, very tough relationship. They had love-hate is a very simple term to be used there. I think Arundhati's mother did trust Arundhati a fair bit. She did express love in a way that was perhaps not easy to understand. But she was a figure who fought. She was a single mom who fought. She also sort of raised her two children the best that she could, perhaps, in those circumstances. So for all that and more, I really, really loved reading Arundhati Roy's book. And if you have read it, please do let me know what you thought of it, or would love to talk more about it. Thank you for watching.